concept of dharma. It's a fundamental duty. You can ask a basic question. All right, it's the Constitution of India. In any case, nobody knows about it, or very few people know about it. And those who wrote it are dead and gone. So why should it matter to me? One can take that line. It's all right. In fact, one of the things I firmly believe in, which perhaps during our discussions will come later, is I am a firm believer that there is nothing that is absolutely right and absolutely wrong. I've had several philosophical wars with very close friends, and many times they've been undecided because those friends are also really brilliant people. I hold my view, my perspective is there is nothing that is absolutely right, absolutely wrong. It depends on which switch you are willing to put in your head. You have many switches, there are many connections, and the job of teachers is to show you, saying, this is the switch, put it on. That's the line I take. Okay? So this switch went on in me. What shocked me in a very nice way was what came below that paper, another sheet. What does the Constitution of India mean by excellence? What does it mean by excellence? And there was an annotation. Okay? And this was fantastic. The annotation stated, the citizens of this great nation shall perform their duties in an excellent way, rather than perform them half-heartedly. No, this is trivial, obvious. Okay, you may say, kya hai? So, citizens of this great nation shall perform their duties in an excellent way, rather than perform them half-heartedly. So far, so good. Next sentence, fantastic. Excellence means surpassing merit, virtue, and honest performance. That took me by the scruff. It says it's not enough if you are virtuous, it's not enough if you are meritorious, it's not enough if you put an honest performance. It says you have to surpass virtue, merit, and honest performance. Brilliant. Now that is where I come from when I talk of pushing the limits. So naturally, they also said very beautifully, the third sentence, duties cannot be enforced by writs. We all know that. Nobody can enforce a duty by writ except when you're a slave, which is at the cost of your life, or severe pain if you don't perform your duty. Remember, we are a free country. So, if there is a person who is working somewhere and he or she wants salary for signing the attendance, which is the joke that has gone around this country for too long, you can't enforce that chap or the person to perform his or her duty. You can't enforce. It's an expectation. We all know this joke. I'm sure many of you would have shared this joke. That people want salary for signing their attendance. And any other work is overtime. Well, you talk of individual habits, collective cultures. We'll come to this. Yet, duties are obligatory on citizens. It's an obligation for you to perform your duty. You belong to this land, good or bad. You've been nurtured in this land by people who belong to this land. Somewhere down the line, the smell of the soil and the smell of the air and the sweetness of the water should have sunk into your soul. Somewhere it should have gone into the deep recesses of your consciousness. And I'm appealing to that experience that you would have gone through living here so far. And I'm sure you have that little warmth in one corner of your heart for this land and its people, including your own families, I'm saying. So what constitutes? It set me on a path of questioning. Started questioning. So what do these guys actually mean by surpassing? It led me to two notions. Excellence means that demonstrated character of an individual or a group by which, first, they know their limits, and second, they push their limits. So to push a limit, you have to know it first. What is your limit? That's where I come from. Just a couple of weeks ago, I think I had a small chat with first year students in Mandakini Hostel. Anybody here? Okay. Thanks. So, yeah, Mangal, please. No, please. You didn't hear Mangal. He said, I have a class. I know, that comes later for many of us. Yeah, thanks, Mangal. So know your limits and push your limits. For those of you who are fresh in IIT, this is not uncommon, having classes in the night. And if you, by fate, if you take my class, you might be in a seminar at 1:30 in the night. Okay. Anyway, excellence, know your limits, push your limits. Now you are into a very interesting dilemma. I'm going to include I'm going to include myself in this discussion. We have several limits. If you just look around, if you just think by yourself, you have so many limits. I'll talk of one limit which I'm living with deep guilt. Some of you know that I play rock, blues and jazz. It's my passion. I like playing music. I freak out, okay? Just like it. But one guilt that I have is, the damn thing is I never learnt music formally. I know it's a limit. What's the limit? I can't compose music. What's the point of understanding, realizing that you can't compose music when you're on the wrong side of life? It's too tight for me. Maybe this great spirit will send me again and make me a good composer. I wish I could compose music today. I hope you understand. A good composer will have to compose for several instruments. Orchestration. It's not a joke. It's not just a simple tune. Okay. Just a simple tune. You have to orchestrate the damn thing. And that's where the beauty. Why is it that when you listen to certain pieces of music, you are moved? I'm sure all of you have gone through some experiences where you have moved by the music. All of us have gone through that. So obviously that composer has done something grand in the composition. And the composer probably knows that when I arrange the notes in this particular way, I can evoke a feeling in you. So which is a very, very interesting proposition. So limit. I'm giving you an example of a limit. Another limit. It's a limitation. What's this limitation? There are some aspects of life where I wish I were more disciplined, like taking a morning walk. Okay? I'm talking of a real on-the-ground limit. I know it's a limitation. So it needs a special push, And sometimes my wife helps me. Hey, Ganesh, time for your walk. Hey, podi.